It is Wednesday, June 25th, and today we're going to talk about vibrational leadership in scary times. Welcome to Wednesdays with Gene. I am the eponymous Gene Montrastelli. We go live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, except when we don't. We'll talk about that in just a moment. These sessions are sponsored by the Tapping Mastery Academy, which I think is your key to being able to unlock the powerful tool that is tapping. Today what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time talking about vibrational leadership, and we're going to do 4 rounds of tapping to help us to kind of embody that in difficult and scary times. As always, before we jump in, what we're going to do is we're just going to spend a moment or two doing a little wordless tapping. This is a great way to get yourself grounded in your body, to clear your head. I like even doing wordless tapping before I do my regular tapping because it's just a great way to take care of our system. So we're just going to take a minute and a half and just do a little wordless tapping. Move from tapping point to tapping point. And as you work your way through this, if things come bubbling up, if there's things that you want to remember, just go right ahead and jot those down. And for me, when I'm scanning my system, it's important that I make sure I get past the bend at my hips. Oftentimes when I scan and I'm sitting, I only do my upper body. And nice big stretch and give it a little shake. Maybe grab a sip of water, jot down some notes that came up inside of that. Thanks for the folks checking in the chat box, letting you know where you are. Good morning to Honduras and Nevada and Colorado and Wyoming and Oklahoma. Feel free to say hi in the chat box and let us know where you are as you're joining us as we work our way through all of this. Before we jump in, let's just take a quick look at the calendar because there's an important announcement here. So 2 big dates on the calendar. Starting next Monday, we're doing the 5-day limiting belief challenge. Over the course of 5 days, I'm going to show you a very, very simple process to identify, figure out what's behind, and then clear a limiting belief that is holding you back from taking action. And then July 18th, it is hard to believe that we're a little more than 3 weeks away from the 24 hours of tapping. We have an amazing slate of tapping practitioners from all over the world who are going to share their goodness with you while we gather to do some amazing work for the Peaceful Heart Network. So links that you need to keep in mind. You always look at our calendar, tappingqa.com/events. Join us in the Tapping Mastery Academy, tappingqa.com/TMA. If you'd like to join us for the Clear Limiting Beliefs Challenge, just go to clearlimitingbeliefschallenge.com. As an important note, that is happening at 11 a.m. Eastern Time all next week. So we will not be here live like we normally are at 11 a.m. Eastern Time because we're going to be live as part of that challenge. If you'd like to join us, clearlimitingbeliefschallenge.com will get you all the information on how you can join us for an absolutely amazing week of transformation that is happening next week. And then you can sign up and get notifications and all the goodness about the 24 hours of tapping. All you need to do is go to 24hoursoftapping.com. And even though it's not starting until the 18th, 15th. I'd encourage you to sign up sooner than later because leading up to it, we're going to be sharing a bunch of free resources and some of the best stuff from the back catalog. That it's going to be a great chance for you to do a lot of tapping and transformation as we work our way to that particular date. So clearlimitingbeliefschallenge.com, 24hoursoftapping.com. Those are the two important links for you to note so that you can join us for the amazing stuff that's happening in the next couple of weeks. And then a week from Wednesday, we'll be back here as normal doing our live tapping and teaching. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about a concept that I was introduced to, and I believe it was even an interview for the 24 Hours of Tapping. It was either that or the podcast. It was one of the conversations that I had with my buddy Rick Wilkes. Rick is so thoughtful in the way he thinks about the world and the way he thinks about transformation. And the piece of vocabulary that he introduced to me is, he said, our goal, or at least his goal is, and it's now my goal, is to be a vibrational leader and to embrace vibrational leadership. And what vibrational leadership means is the way we hold ourselves in the moment is sending out signals. You know, if we're ever in a circumstance where something really bad is happening, something unexpected is happening, as we work our way through that bad and that unexpected thing, if we're in a group of people, all of a sudden, more people are going to be standing closer to me. Just because dispositionally, the way I move through the world, particularly in moments of struggle and things that are overwhelming and are too much, I am a person who does not overreact. I might underreact, but even in the face of crisis, I have a tendency to be very calm. And people, in the face of crisis, are drawn to the people who are calm. And so they go and they gather by them. And so there are things in the world that require us to take action to create change. And it's important that in the face of everything that is going on in the world at this particular moment, as we fight for our brothers and sisters and humanity and taking care of ourselves and taking care of the global community, decisive action is something that is not only useful, it's something that is super, super important. But that isn't the only thing that we have access to. The way we carry ourselves and move through the world makes a difference. One of the conversations that we had last year for the 24 Hours of Tapping, when I was talking to my friend, Dr. Dawson Church, he was talking about how when you share happiness with someone else, there is a rippling effect. And I can't remember the exact statistics off of the top of my head, but it was something around this, is that if you smile at someone, they are something like 30% more likely to be in a better mood, which makes a lot of sense. But what is interesting is the people that they interact with. So you smile at person B. The people who interact with person B are 15 to 20% more likely to be happy because person B is happier. And person C is more likely to be happy because of person B, because of your smile. Person D, who interacts with person C, is something like 5 to 7% more likely to be happy. So a simple kindness of a smile makes a difference in the world. One of my favorite little Instagrams to watch is there is a gentleman who wanders around New York City, and he is in a purple velvet smoking jacket, and he's wearing an ascot, and he's like super, super fancy, and he's walking around with his hands behind his back, kind of like, you know, a proper Englishman would be walking around a museum. And what he does is he just gives honest compliments to people. And sometimes it's simple as, oh my gosh, it's absolutely amazing you're remembering to hydrate yourself. Good job. And then they smile, it's like, oh my gosh, you have a beautiful smile. And so he's just noticing things, and he's not being disingenuous, but you can see the change of the people around them when they're engaging with someone who is in that way. And so when I recognize that, not from I have to do this to save everyone else, but when I recognize from a resource state point of view, when I am navigating the world at a more positive, more well-resourced, more well-regulated emotional state, it's going to impact the people around me. because you know the opposite to be true. You know exactly what it's like to be in a room and to have someone who's really angry walk in the room. You don't even have to be looking at them, but you can just feel this wave of energy and anger that is happening. And so, when we are in an emotional state that is well resourced, it impacts the people around us. Now, that doesn't mean I'm pretending to be happier than I am. This isn't about what I put on my face and how I'm operating, because you know what it's like to see someone who is smiling really, really big, and you know, and you can feel that they are not in a positive emotional state. And that's not a judgment of them, but what I'm talking about here is if I'm going to be making a difference in the world, if I'm going to be navigating the world in a way that is useful energetically to the people around me, then what I need to do is I need to make sure I am being more well-resourced. And you'll notice I didn't say I need to be perfectly resourced. One of the little stickers I have on my mug right there, it says first action, best action. And what that is that is my reminder that before I do something, what is the first action I can take so that it's the best action? And you know what this is like. You know, you're about to sit down at your computer and you're about to do something hard and you go, okay, let's do this. I do a better job when I do that. I'm going to have a difficult conversation with someone. I plan what I want to say before I have that difficult conversation. But the first action, best action doesn't have to be about the big things. It can be about all the things. And so the question is, what can I do to transform my resource state into that particular place? So what I want to do is I want to do 3 rounds of tapping around this idea. And how do we become a vibrational leader in the world when we're in the time of fear, when we're in the time of overwhelm? So the first round of tapping I want to do is I want to do a round of tapping about the emotions that we feel because of what is going on in the world. You know, I don't just move to the thing that I want to be embracing. What I need to do is I need to set the table for that. You know, we can do gratitude work too quickly when we're not ready to be grateful. We can do forgiveness work when we're not ready to forgive. When we do that, what we're doing is we're just papering over the cracks. We're putting on a false smile when things on the inside don't feel that way. And so if I want to be in a circumstance where I am engaging as a vibrational leader in that particular way, then what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm giving myself permission to feel what I need to feel before I do that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build our way to how do I set myself up to be a vibrational leader in the world? And how do I get to be a vibrational leader just as I walk out my door today? It's not even like for the rest of my life. So everybody tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And so the first thing that we do is we want to tap on what we feel right now. And so this is what I feel right now. Just move from point to point. I recognize the fact there is a lot going on in the world. That is really scary. That is really overwhelming. That is concerning. People are in danger. People are being treated poorly. People are in pain. And it all just feels so big. Because I recognize the fact I do not have direct access to changing the big picture things. And so I feel caught between helpless and overwhelmed. I feel caught between fearful and lost. And it is so hard to find a place to stand as we are engaging with what is going on. I give myself permission to know it is okay for me to feel completely overwhelmed. It is okay for me to feel fearful. It is okay for me to be in a circumstance where I feel all the emotions. And feeling all of the emotions is not a failure, but instead it's about being honest with where I am. Nice big deep breath. Big stretch, give it a shake. Whatever came bubbling up, make sure you jot that down. I got some ideas that I don't want to lose. But just give yourself permission to feel all of those things and note it. Big stretch. Okay, so now we've given ourselves permission to feel the emotion about the overwhelm, and we touched on it a little bit. Now what I want to do is I want to directly lean into this idea of sometimes I feel small because I can't make big changes. Side of the hand, nice big deep breath. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact I am one person. I don't hold political power. I don't have access to the big levers of change. And with some of the things that are going on in the world, even if I had all of those things, I don't even know I'd know what to do with them. And so it's hard to feel like I can be an agent of change when I feel small. It is hard to feel like who I am can make a difference in the world when I have so little access. I give myself permission to be gentle with myself in this moment, knowing that I can make a difference in the world where I am, being the size that I am. I recognize the fact it is possible for me to be able to be one more ripple in the pond, creating change. Because when I connect with and share with others It makes it possible for me to create the change that I want to be a part of in the world. Nice big deep breath. Stretch, move a little bit. Again, give yourself permission to just take a nice, easy breath. Notice what comes bubbling up. Take some notes about things that you notice and what you want to do. Nice big stretch. Last thing that we do is let's just do a little tapping about what it means and how to engage as a vibrational leader. Tippy top of the head and just move from point to point. I recognize the facts. Committing to being a vibrational leader in the world does not mean I am responsible for everything. Being a vibrational leader in the world does not mean I'm taking on everything. Instead, I recognize the facts. Simply being grounded, simply being present, simply being honest with what I am feeling makes a difference in the world. Being who I am in the moment makes a difference in the world. Being grounded and honest with my emotions makes a difference in the world. Being a vibrational leader doesn't mean I'm some super happy cartoon version of myself. Being honest and grounded with who I am and where I am makes it easier for others to do the same. Gives others permission to do the same. Makes it easier for others to do the same. I give myself permission in imperfect ways to be a vibrational leader today. Nice big deep breath. Give it a little shake and just see what you notice inside of that. You know, the thing that's super, super important inside of all of this is recognizing that what I'm constantly trying to do is I'm constantly trying to be emotionally more honest and more grounded. Better. Not perfect, not over the top. And every single time I am a little more grounded, a little more honest, a little more in the moment with how I'm feeling and what is going on, and working through that into a proportionate, well-informed way, the easier it is for the people around me to do the exact same thing. Every relationship we are in is a co-creation. It's a combination of what is coming together. And so every single time we show up in a more well-resourced, more well-grounded, more authentic way, it makes it easier for everybody else we're interacting with in the world to do the exact same thing. So, simple call to action today. Take a couple of minutes later today, do a little more tapping to feel grounded in the world, do a little more tapping before you go out in the world, do a little more tapping to just be present to who you are in an honest, grounded way. You're going to make better, more authentic choices that you're happier with, but you're going to make it easier for everybody else around you to do the exact same thing. So just a little tapping to help you be a vibrational leader in the world, because you are not alone. I promise you are not alone. Wanting to have change, wanting it to be better, you are not alone. You're here with folks watching along with us, watching the replay. There's lots of people in our communities that are in the exact same place. So that is all of the goodness that I wanted to tap on today. A couple of quick folk notes. Again, check out the Tapping Q&A podcast. If you go to tappingpodcast.com, we got an episode coming out tomorrow about figuring out where resistance is and what's holding us back, which is the perfect setup for the limiting belief challenge that we're doing next week. Go to clearlimitingbeliefchallenge.com. The 24 hours of tapping is happening February 18th and 19th. We're starting at 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you go to 24 hours of tapping.com right now, you'll get all the notifications so that you don't miss any of the goodness. We have such an amazing event set up for you guys this year. And we're going to be sharing a whole bunch of really awesome stories from the folks who've been directly impacted by the Peaceful Heart Network. I can't wait to share all of that with you. So I hope you have a fabulous day wherever you are in the world. Reminder, we are not doing a Wednesday live next week. Wednesday with Gene is not happening next week because we are doing the 5-day Limiting Belief Challenge. You can check out the 5-day Limiting Belief Challenge at clearlimitingbeliefschallenge.com. I hope to see you there. For those of you who are watching this after the fact, on the screen right now, you can see a playlist of all the past tap-alongs and Wednesdays with Gene we have done. For Wednesday with Gene, I am Gene Montrastelli. I'll see you next week in the challenge, and I'll see you back here live in 2 weeks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.